my jazz friends around the world. Today I'll show you how to improvise over the beautiful jazz standard Misty. You'll learn what scales, arpeggios and other tools you need to create an interesting solo. I've made this an easy beginner-friendly solo that still sounds exciting. My name is Sandra Sherman and I simplify jazz for you. We're in the key of E flat major and we have the classical jazz standard song form AABA with 32 bars in total, 8 bars for each section. I start with a reference to the melody here. And that's out of the E flat major chord. Little slide. And now I keep playing those chord tones, right? Then the ninth. And now I'm making enclosure to the upcoming B flat minor chord. The B flat minor chord, the big difference here is that D flat. That's the third of the chord, which is always great. So I'm not even thinking in scales right now. You'll learn a lot about scales in this video, but right now I'm not even thinking in scales. I know I want to go here. So what I do is an enclosure. 2 from the right side, 1 from the left, and then I slide into that target note, okay? I'm here with the B flat minor chord, and that's B flat minor and E flat to A flat. That's a 2-5-1, all right? And we need B flat Dorian for that first bar, okay? You can keep playing B flat Dorian over E flat. That's basically the same, okay? So what I do still, I don't really think that much in scales. I see that E flat 7 here, and I want to go to the G. That's the third of the E flat. Now I go kind of down the scale, but chromatically, a chromatic in between, and I slide into there. 1 and 2 and 3, and exactly at the half of the bar when the E flat is here, I change to E flat. And now I just play the arpeggio. That's E flat 7. And now I resolve it to A flat major 7. That's chord tones. The third, here's my chord. The third and the root. And then I play the arpeggio up in a triplet. Ba 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 ba. That's a typical jazz phrasing. And that's nothing else but the arpeggio plus the ninth. Or a C minor 7 arpeggio over E flat. Look at this, here's a C minor triad included. So you can play a C minor 7 arpeggio and it will give you an A flat major 9 sound, right? Okay, so those are the first 4 bars. And now we go to A flat minor. I see the chord here again. I'm seeing the chord. Target the chord tones when you change, so you will hear the change. Play the changes, and then think scales. Scales are not bad or anything, but first target the chord tones. And now I'll go down the A flat melodic minor scale, just for and giggles. That's instead of A flat Dorian, or any Dorian scale, you can always play the melodic minor and it will sound more interesting, a little hipper version of that. So I'm going down that scale basically, not much more than that, but with triplet, and then there's no triplet. And then I resolve to E flat major. So that's an E flat major 7 chord, and that's the first thing. But I also wanted to mention, coming down here, bebop, bebop. I could have played and then go to the E flat this way, but I want to have this typical jazz language, the jazz idiom. That's supposedly where the term bebop comes from. All right, bebop, bebop. So instead of going to E flat, I play that little bebop motif again. Now I'm on E flat. And I play that, and this keeps ringing into the C minor chord. We have in this chord, in this part, we have an E flat and a C minor. And this is a beautiful ninth. It sounds so beautiful over the C minor. And that was the first phrase, and I'm gonna play that for you at slow tempo now. 3, 4. Check out my 10 solos over jazz standards. The link is in the video description. Phrase 2 are the last 3 bars of the A1 section, and we have a 2, 5, 3, 6, 2, 5. That goes into the back into the 1. So that's kind of well, kind of a turnaround. All right. We start with that F minor, which is the 2 of E flat major, the key we're in, and I just play an arpeggio coming from this. I now take my index and play a perfect F minor 7 arpeggio. And now we have a lot of altered chords in a row. That's B flat altered now, the 5 chord. And I just take, it's all half bars. And I play the changes. We don't always have to do that. But in ballads, I'm suggesting you play the changes. Because each chord sounds a lot longer, you can't just play something over it. So, I play parts of altered lines. That's a B flat, here's a B flat 7 chord, and this is the 3rd of the chord, the root, sharp 9 and flat 9. So sharp 9 and flat 9 are altered tones, so this is perfect. Then I glide over and play, here's my G7 sharp 9 chord, an altered chord. I play the sharp 9, flat 9 again, root and 7. So these are the most important tones for altered chords. Flat 9, sharp 9, 7th, maybe also flat 13, but we didn't have it in here right now. Then going to another altered chord, the C altered. So that's the 6th chord now. And for this one I play a diminished arpeggio, E diminished. Here's your C7 chord. From each chord tone except the root, you can play a diminished arpeggio. And you will get a C7 flat 9 chord. That's an old trick. Then I go to the F minor 7. I see the F minor here. So here's my resolution. And instead of, you could just play the arpeggio down. But to make it more interesting, I added the 9th in here. And because I'm a little late now, I need to catch up with a triplet. And the last 5 is B flat again. And what I do is, again, I play a diminished chord. So here's B flat, here's my 3rd. Remember, over every chord tone you can play a diminished, you can start a diminished arpeggio. This is a D diminished arpeggio over B flat altered. And it will lead us in the next phrase perfectly to that E flat major chord. So here are the last 3 bars, phrase number 2 for you at slow tempo. 3, 4. Please help to keep the free video tutorials running, and you can do so by clicking the thanks button and donate a little something. Thank you. So now we're at the A2 section, and I resolve this. I just look at the chord again. Play it in quarter note triplets. Right. Then we have B flat to E flat again. And this time I play this a little different. First of all, I play a B flat minor 9 arpeggio, which is a D flat major chord. We had this already similar in a different chord type. Here's your root B flat. Go up a 3rd and play a major 7 chord. That will give you a 9th on top. So you start from the 3rd, play 5, 7, and now the 4th tone of the arpeggio is the 9th now. Okay, and I play this with a triplet. I start a little late, 1 and triplet. On count 3 we have E flat 7, altered. We don't have to alter it, but I do now. And I play the beginning of a Charlie Parker line that he used over Donnelly. All right. then I play A flat major. I look at this chord. So I see chords everywhere. So here's my root. And I just kind of embellish that. And I land here, chord tone, right? And then I do the same thing for A flat minor. And the funny thing is, this is A flat major here. This is G flat major here. And I can play it over A flat minor. Okay, it works. And that was phrase number 3. And now it's slow tempo. And these are the last 4 bars of the A2 section already. We learn a lot of pivot arpeggios here now. We start with a little enclosure to that D. We are now at the E flat major 7 again, and I want to enclose that D. Right? And now I play a G minor 7 chord that lives within the E flat major chord, right? So I enclose it, and instead of just playing it upwards, I go back down and play it up again. That's called a pivot arpeggio because it pivots down or up. The same I do with the C minor now. I go into that E flat, that's part of a C minor. I play that C minor, and instead of just going up, I go back down and then up. Okay, so F minor, I play an A flat major arpeggio that goes over F minor. Again, I start with the high note, go to the low, and play it up again, pivot arpeggio. B flat 7 altered, 7th, root, flat 9 and sharp 9. Then I go to E flat major, I play that G minor triad. That's G, B flat, D. That's a G minor triad, and it lives, as we just learned, within the E flat major chord. Then I add that E flat 6, 9 chord, and then I already target where I wanna go next would be the B flat in the B section, B flat minor chord. I want to target this one. So from the E flat, I still have a whole bar left, or almost a whole bar. So what I do is, I see, and I go there. A lot of chromaticism, okay? We are now in E flat major. I target a G, chord tone. The thing in between is just the chromatic. All triplets, triplet, triplet, triplet. There's only one chromatic in there, really. And then I'm in the B section. That's gonna be the next phrase. Now let me repeat phrase number 4 for you at slow tempo. Welcome to the B section. We now have 4 bars, and it's a classic 2-5-1. The E flat being altered. So we start with the B flat, we land it right here on that third of the B flat, which is the D flat. And we can play from the third of a minor chord, we can always play a major 7 chord. We learned that already. So this is one of the things you should memorize. So that's a D flat major 7 arpeggio now. Instead of playing it up, I make a pivot arpeggio again. Highest note first, lowest note second, and then the middle ones. D flat, F, A flat, C. Then I go down to that G for the E flat 7 chord. That's its third. And I play Charlie Parker line again. That's E flat altered. The arpeggio, E flat 7, then the flat and the sharp 9, arpeggio again, and A flat major resolution. That's the third and the root of the chord. We had this actually in the first section already. And then I make another bebop, because that takes me to another bar of A flat major. I just play an A flat major 7 arpeggio. to make an enclosure to the upcoming A minor. I want to target that C, the third of the A minor. I play scale plus, actually that's the Lydian scale here, but I just chose that because it's an enclosure as the same notes for that C, right? Enclosing that middle C we want to target. Right, that's the next phrase. So let me repeat phrase number 5 for you. 3, 4. So now to the last 4 bars of the B section already. A minor to D7 does not resolve, which means that D7 is not being altered. You can only alter a dominant chord if it's resolved. You cannot create tension and then nothing. You want to resolve it. It's not resolved, so you keep playing. These two have the same scale. So you keep playing what you played over A minor, and that's A Dorian. Okay, this is this scale here. Pattern number 1, A Dorian. So I just noodle around this A Dorian looking at the chord tones. Now I go to D7, same scale, but I want to have that F sharp in because it's a part of that chord. Okay? And now C minor to F. That's the same thing. C minor to F does not resolve. So you just play C Dorian over both chords. And we have a C Dorian scale here. Pattern 5. Okay, so I go. I start on a chord tone. That's basically the arpeggio or a pentatonic also. Now I target the F7 chord tone here. Okay, C minor, F7. And now we have G half diminished to C7, that's a 2-5. And F, after half diminished, you always have to alter. So that C7 is altered. First of all, I slide over to the G and a B flat. Those are both chord tones of the G half diminished chord. Sorry. And now for C7, I play an E diminished. We learned it already. You can play a diminished chord over every alter chord from each chord tone except the root. E is the third of C7. Play an E diminished chord. And you will get a C7 flat 9. That's an altered chord, somewhat an altered chord. The same now for F minor. Going to B flat altered. That's D diminished over B flat is B flat altered. Okay? Here is phrase number 5 at slow tempo. Now for the last A section, I want to have a little more dynamic with chords. I like to end my solos with chords now, or with a mixture of chords and solo. Chord solo. I start with that E flat major chord up here, and then I arpeggiate it afterwards. So that's the same thing in a solo version. Chord and arpeggio. Going to B flat. Here is my third of the B flat minor chord. Again, I see chords everywhere. So here's the third. Another chord tone. And now E flat altered. I want to play an altered chord again because it resolves, so I can't alter it. And this is a diminished chord. You've learned from every chord tone of the altered chord. That, for example, is a B flat. That's the fifth of the E flat altered. And these chords, these diminished chords, are symmetrical chords, which means they only consist of flat thirds. So it's a completely symmetrical chord, no other interval than flat thirds. Which means that this must repeat itself all 3 frets. 1, 2, 3, same chord tones. That's an inversion of this one. Same exact chord tones, but in a different order. And now to E flat major resolution. That's the 5th of the A flat. Here's my arpeggio. And this one I play with a chord, a part of, and then I add the root. That's an A flat major chord. Going to A flat minor 7 chord, and A flat minor and D flat. Don't resolve, yeah, they don't. So I play A flat Dorian. That's the 4th pattern of A flat Dorian, or D flat mixo. Here it is at slow tempo. The last 4 bars of the song already, and we have a turnaround 1, 6, 2, 5. Again, a lot of chords. I want to play an E flat major here. That's a chord and an arpeggio. 6 chords, C minor 9, which is all the same as an E flat major, by the way. This doesn't have the root. The root would be here. C minor 9. And then I repeat that motif down at F minor 7. That's actually a C minor arpeggio. That goes over F minor 9. B flat altered chord here. Here would be your root, B flat. That's B flat 7, sharp 5, and A flat 9. And then that resolves with a beautiful voice leading into the E flat 6, 9 chord. Make sure your ring finger goes down here. It doesn't stay up here, or we will have a dominant chord. The song doesn't end on a dominant chord, but on the major. E flat 6, 9. Here it is at slow tempo. If you want to learn the chords or the chord melody version of Misty, I have YouTube video tutorials up for this. And if you're interested in learning how to solo, I have plenty of starter packs where you can learn how to solo on my website, GuitarVersum.com. Please give this video a fat thumbs up. It really helps with the YouTube algorithm. Please share the love and the knowledge. Subscribe my channel, and I hope to see you next week. Servus, Baba.